Late breaking news from World Class Bullshitters. Remember this date, July 6th, 2016, a day that will live in infamy. It is the day that Marvel Comics officially lost their shit and has sunk to a new low. Dustin, tell the listeners what the fuck Marvel's doing.
I wish the breaking news that we were giving you was something like a school shooting or something. No, because compared to this, a school shooting is the best option because they are changing Iron Man, Tony Stark, into a black woman named Riri.
You know, it's funny. Marvel's trying to be so progressive, but Riri is an old slang term for retard, which is exactly what this
I
move
was
is.
just saying, this is a Riri decision. No, Jeff, you came across this information and you told me, and I thought he's fucking with me, because we're very anti SJW on this show. I don't think that's a surprise to anyone. We are not okay with people changing the race or gender or anything like that of people just to seem more inclusive. Iron Man, after the MCU came along, is now one of Marvel's big two. In my eyes, it's him and Captain America, and now you could say with the resurgence of Spider-Man, big three. But to take your mascot, your poster boy, Tony Stark, the guy that everyone knows and loves and was immortalized by Robert Downey Jr., and turn him into a fucking black woman just for the sake of it. I'm not going to support Marvel anymore. I was buying the Civil War II comics. And from what I'm reading here, from this information that Jeff sent along, Tony Stark, after Civil War II, hands over the Iron Man suit to Riri here, and she takes over as Iron Man. Why would I keep supporting, with my time and money, a company that continuously shits on me as a fan simply because they want to be more PC? Jeff, take over, or I'm going to fucking strangle my kids.
Okay, well, you mentioned earlier that you are going to stop supporting Marvel. Well, I stopped supporting Marvel a year or so ago with the advent of just stupid decisions spurred by this forced for diversity. Like you keep going on. There's a black woman named Riri. Well, the character's named Iron Man. Iron Man doesn't exist anymore now. It's like, I think we're going to get to a point where Marvel, not DC, because DC has failed so much that they're not going to do anything stupid, but Marvel, backed by Big Daddy Disney, they're going to just innovate themselves out of money. They're going to be so progressive, they're going to progress right to the fucking Chapter 11 bankruptcy that they fucking flirted with in 1996. This is just another dumb move. There is no reason that Marvel needs to do this. The fans don't want it. You know, Dustin, I've been a comic book fan, we'll just say my whole life. We'll go all the way back to 91. I would have been 3 years old. You know, I have never woken up once in the thousands of days that I've been alive, and I've never gone to myself and said, you know what, Jeff? You know what I really want? Money? Nah. Fame? No. I want a fucking black lady to play Iron Man, or be Iron Man in the comic books. I know that no one else in the history of this planet has even conceived this as a good idea. If Stan Lee wasn't dead, he would be rolling over his grave. And as soon as he reads this, he might die. Comic-Con may not be his last appearance. Opening up the fucking newspaper may be his last fucking stand. Because Stan Lee has actively lived through all the characters that he's kind of created and ripped off partially. He's watched them be butt-fucked by this progressive cock. And no matter what the people say or do or want, Marvel is just fucking jamming it down your throat, and you don't want it. It's like rape. I threw the word out there. It's like rape.
No, you're infringing upon other people's wills with your own, and that is rape. Marvel is raping their fan base. Their fan base is made up of a bunch of teen, early 20-something, some 30, 40-year-old, mostly white guys. Not all, but mostly. And when you take it and go, well, our readers are gay, our readers are Muslim, or no, they're not. They're not. They aren't. And really quick, Jeff, I'm reading the interview in this link that you presented with Brian Michael Bendis. And he is insinuating throughout this interview that people that have a problem with it are racist. And he says that he's talked to some of the older creators, and he said that every single older artist or writer that he talked to, comic book wise, says they wish they would have done this stuff when they were working. So he's making it sound like
bullshit. Sorry to be rude and cut you off, but bullshit. No motherfucker that's ever created comic books has thought Iron Man should be a black woman. No, I don't even know if Brian Michael Bendis' pompous ass believes this shit. Now, I know a lot of the listeners out there may not know who Brian Michael Bendis is, but he's like the biggest writer in comics. But I think he's one of the most overrated in history, too. His stories take forever to play out, and they just kind of end with a whimper in some cases. The Ultimate Spider-Man line, in my opinion, is probably the single worst influence on the character of Spider-Man in history. I know they'll say, oh, but it revived the series. It may have helped in the beginning when it was a little less offensive, but as it's progressed, it's just so mopey and stupid. And then how did they revive it? They had a black Spider-Man. And
which was also Brian Michael Bendis' creation.
Why doesn't Brian Michael Bendis go back in time and recreate a black Brian Michael Bendis? Like, what the... I just don't know what good he honestly thinks he's doing. And you know what? These old comic book creators will say anything for a fucking check because Marvel fucks you. Like, unless you're one of the big names that is independent from them, you are dependent on, like, them reprinting your story. And if you fuck around, you won't get a royalty check. And a lot of these old school guys aren't living high on the hog. They're fucking broke. Only guys like, I don't know, even John Romita Sr., who's done so much for the business, isn't as well off as we think. So, I don't believe a goddamn word of this article. This just reads PC garbage, bullshit.
You're a racist if you don't agree with it. You're not thinking... He actually comes out and says, maybe they'll realize over time that that's not the most progressive thinking. Who the fuck says we need progressive thinking?
And who the fuck is Brian Michael Bendis, a white guy, to speak for me, who's part black? And I guarantee you, if Dion wasn't at work right now, he'd think this is dumber than us. So Brian Michael Bendis.
Oh, come on now.
Hey, he's still not. He's not for that shitty Ghostbusters sequel. So I'm remake. So
I'll give him that. He's not for the shitty Ghostbusters, which you could find some of our other videos on.
Yeah, we've been talking about it lately. We're up to 4,000 views in just under 2 weeks for our latest Ghostbusters rant.
Yep. So make sure to check that out if you haven't yet. But my point is. How many people were on the Avengers at one time? How many characters, roughly?
I guess there's like 8 movie Avengers at once. I guess a core team, we'll just say 8 to 10 people at once. Just say
let's say 8. Yeah, let's say 10 to make it even. So you have now Iron Man, black woman. You have female Thor. You have Asian Hulk. You have black Captain America. Like, my point is, you can't say that you're trying to make everything representative of the world around you when you are grossly over representing these people. Percentage-wise, you don't have 40% black on a team. You have 14% of the U.S. population is black. You don't have more than a few percentage points of Asian in this country, and yet 10% of your team is Asian. Like, my point is, they're spitting on their history, they're spitting on their fans, and they're using bullshit logic and trying to tell you that, oh, you're thinking wrong by not agreeing with them. And to me, that is the nail in the coffin. I am not giving Marvel Comics another penny. I'm done.
I won't even take my time to read this for free on the internet. I mean, that's not even that's not speaking hyperbole. Like, that new Captain America arc where he was a Hydra agent and they backtracked real quick because fans were up in arms. And they went back and changed it. That was a waste of time that I didn't really... I read like 3 pages of it and I thought it was shit. The art was great, the story was garbage. That's Marvel's biggest fault right now, is that everything they do is fucking garbage. Everything's a reboot. Everything's a redo. You can't get invested in a fucking character because there's nothing to get invested in. It changes at the whim of some douchey creators because they think, oh my god, 15-year-olds are not liking the book. Guess what? I saw a great article. God damn it, I wish I had the fucking link. But it was some comics website, some really established, well-respected one that said the average comic book reader is aged like 20 to 60 or something. All right? When I go into a comic book store, I don't see young kids because they're out on their fucking phones or doing other things. Disposable income is spent on whatever the fuck you want to do. Crack cocaine or fucking a hooker. Sounds fun, but they're not buying a fucking comic book. You go into a comic book store, it's predominantly white. I've only met I don't think I've ever met a black comic book store owner ever. When you go to a comic book convention, the amount of black artists to white artists is a very slim ratio. And it's not racism, it's just fucking interest, you know? But when you go to the NFL, it's a mostly black sport. Basketball. So it's not everything is for every fucking person. Guys aren't watching The fucking Bachelor, and women aren't really going to go see Lethal Weapon 7. The point is, everything's not for everybody, and it's okay that there are white comic book characters, and it's okay that there are black comic book characters. Spider-Man, perfect example in the day, the good days, you had tons of black characters that weren't forced. You had Joe Robbie Robertson, who was a great character. His son Randy had a lot of shit going on. You had Hobie Brown. You had guys that came in later, like Cardiac, who was a fucking heart doctor. You had Cloak and Dagger, interracial couple in Marvel. That kind of shit's cool and progressive. New characters, interracial couple. Oh my god, that's great. They're not going to make Ant-Man black and start fucking the Wasp and be like, oh my god, now it's progressive. No. Marvel used to have a little bit of creativity left in their fucking pen. Now they got nothing. It's a fucking joke. If you have a set of balls or you have some integrity, you will not support this shit. You know, everyone jumped down their throat about Captain America and wasn't afraid to voice their opinion. Do the same for this bullshit. It's equally offensive and equally stupid. You are taking an established character, almost 60 years in the making, I guess 54 now. But my point is, you are fucking shitting on legacy. No one's gonna go and shit on the legacy of Batman like this. They create other Bat characters, but Batman has never been fucked like the way Marvel does with their characters. And here's from the business point of view. A brand. You're only hurting your brand, Marvel. Robert Downey Jr. can only do so much in the realm of film, but when you try to sell Marvel comics and other non-MCU related material featuring Iron Man, that's not a representative or a close facsimile to a Robert Downey Jr. type, you're gonna hurt yourself. These characters have an established look. They represent that look on film, and it works. So Marvel, I say this to you, fuck off.
Hey folks, Jeff of World Class Bullshitters here. Just wanted to let you know about Incarnate Studios. You haven't heard of them? Well, they help sponsor the show and keep us afloat. They make really great t-shirts, like Shitbusters, which is the official protest shirt of the 2016 farce. They also got Donald Trump, blow hard, and Hillary Clinton, blow hard too, blow harder. Poo and politics not your thing? They got shirts from video games, TV shows, movies, horror, and the best part is, they add new shirts twice a week, so keep checking back to see what's coming next. IncarnateStudios.com, and don't forget the hyphen.